Hello, everybody. This is Andrew Gallinger, and welcome into the Western Wyoming Community College Volleyball home opener for the 2022 season. Western Wyoming Volleyball comes into this game with a record of 6-8 on the young season as they prepare to take on Colorado Northwestern Community College. They are led by fifth-year head coach Fred Soto, assisted by Teresa Allgaier. Western Wyoming and the crew from Rushmore Gymnasium in their home white, red lettering, and Colorado Northwestern in their black uniforms. And the serve is up. Colorado Northwestern with the serve. We are underway. Colorado moving left to right on your radio dial, and Western with it now as it's continually knocked back and forth as the first set is underway. Still strong play both sides. Diving into the net, saving it is Colorado in the front line. And that one is a point for Colorado as that goes just beyond the out of bounds line for Western Wyoming. And just like that, Western is able to get a point back as Colorado is unable to get the ball over the net as it hits the top portion of the net. So both initial points for both squads come off of errors from the other side. 1-1 now make it 2-1 as too long of a hit from Western, too far and out of bounds. So it's 2-1 Colorado Northwestern. That one just inside the line, left of the floor, just good enough for the second point for the front line of Western Wyoming. We are back even at 2 here in the first set, playing to 25. This one best of 5. As that's a point for Western Wyoming. Long ball for Colorado Northwestern on the far side of the floor. That one far side of the floor just gets down in front of the out of bounds line. Western Wyoming back line unable to keep that one from dropping for a kill. We are even 3-3. As that one hits the net, point for Western Wyoming, error from Colorado. 4-3 lead for Western Wyoming. If you're new to volleyball, it's first to 25 as that one is into the net again. Colorado unable to get it up and over. Point to Western, now that it's 5-3. I'll remind you that if you're new to volleyball, yes, you have to get to 25, but also the leader has to come away with the lead by 2 points once they hit 25, or else the set continues as we are now at 6-3. There's another net violation for Colorado. Diving, trying to save it. Colorado's able to knock it just across Rock Springs, and Western Wyoming unable to stop that one in the front line. It's 6-4 now. Western Wyoming still on top in this first set. And Colorado racing back, get to the cross, diving Western. Colorado continuing to knock it around. Battle defensively at the net. Western, strong block that drops. Colorado unable to do anything. 7-4. Western Wyoming with the lead as the first set continues in the home opener for the Mustangs. Diving is the Colorado Northwestern defender unable to keep the ball off the floor. And that's going to be a timeout now for Colorado Northwestern. Gives us time now to thank the sponsor of Andrew Gallinger and Sportscasting on Wheels for all of my Sweetwater County sports broadcasting, PRCA rodeo announcer, and Running J rodeo owner Wyatt Joyner. That's a division that he owns of Running J Enterprises, an agricultural company. So I want to thank Wyatt Joyner for the opportunity that he is given to come on board and sponsor this coverage. Wyatt Joyner, thank you. As we are ready to return to action here in the first set of the home opener for 2022. Western Wyoming on top, as now that is another point for Western Wyoming, as that is a net violation for Colorado Northwestern. And actually on Western Wyoming, 8-5 the score. Western Wyoming Mustangs up by 3 as Colorado serves it. Mustangs get it across. Mustangs now getting it back to Colorado. Colorado back across to Mustangs. Mustangs powering it across, still up. Colorado across. Now back to the Mustangs. Colorado with it now. Continuing to lob it across our both sides. And powering it across with a soft touch with the right hand in the middle of the front line. But that touches the front of the net for Western Wyoming, so that goes as a point for Colorado Northwestern. 8-6 the score now. Both sides continuing to work it across. Western Wyoming unable to chase that one down, but it just gets out too far into the student section. So that's gonna be a point for Western Wyoming anyway on the long ball for Colorado Northwestern. 9-6 the score now. (10-6) now is Colorado Northwestern trying to get it across. Lobs one into the net. Western Wyoming with the serve. Colorado trying to respond. Western, couple defenders diving, unable to keep it off the floor in the middle line. Point to Colorado Northwestern. 10-7 as the first set continues. Western Wyoming still with the 3-point lead, set number 1. Block by Western Wyoming. And that gets down on the Colorado side for a point for the Lady Mustangs. 11-7 the score, set number 1. And that's a dig attempt off the hands of a backline defender. Gets away and out of bounds, hits the back wall. That's out of bounds. Point to Western Wyoming. Increases the Mustangs' lead to 5, 12-7. And that one also off the back line. Off the hands of a Colorado defender. 13-7. Now for Western Wyoming. A 6-point lead for the Lady Mustangs here in set number 1. And Colorado unable to corral that one. That's 3 straight points for Western Wyoming off of errors from the visitors from Colorado. 14-7 now. Here's the serve for Western Wyoming. And Colorado tries to get that one across, but knocks that into the net. Another point for Western Wyoming off of errors for Colorado. 15-7 now. It's across. Long ball for Western. Just a bit too long, and that's going to be a point for Colorado. Errors continue, giving a point to the other team. This time, it goes the way of Colorado. 15-8, the score now. Still in set number 1. Western Wyoming and Colorado continuing to knock it back and forth. And that gets down from center court to left. Strong kill for Western Wyoming. 16-8, the lead now for the Lady Mustangs. With the serve for Western, off the hands of a backline defender for Colorado. And that's out of bounds. Point, Western Wyoming. Mustangs on the serve again. Colorado with it, knocking it across. Mustangs doing it again. Now back across to Colorado. Colorado responding. Contact in the net. Just gets down. Western Wyoming unable to corral it. Point Colorado. 17-9. Far side of the floor as that one drops. Here's the serve from Colorado. Western responding. Diving, trying to keep it up. Unable to is Western Wyoming. Ball hits the floor on their side. Point to Colorado Northwestern. It is a 7-point set now. 17-10. Western gets it across. Colorado with it. Gets it across to Western again. Western gets it across. Colorado diving. Unable to keep it from going out of bounds. 18-10 now. Western Wyoming now just 7 points away from taking set number 1. Colorado with it, able to get it back across. Western responding, gets a powerful kill down just inside of the out-of-bounds line. 19-10. Let's see if Western can pull their lead to double digits. Not that time, as that serve goes into the net. And an 8-point lead for Western Wyoming over Colorado Northwestern. CNCC serves. Western gets it over with a soft touch. From left to right, that gets down, unable to be handled by Colorado Northwestern. It's 20-11, and now that serve goes into the net for Western. Make it 20-12 now. It is back to an 8-point Western Wyoming lead here in set number 1. The serve Mustangs get that one, but then Mustangs are unable to get it across. That results in a net violation point to Colorado Northwestern. Western gets it across. Colorado unable to corral that dig. Point to Western Wyoming. Back to an 8-point lead for the Mustangs. And diving, trying to save it. On the far side is the Mustangs. Nothing doing that time. Point, Colorado Northwestern. 21-14 the score. Western Wyoming just 4 points away from taking set number 1. Let's see what happens. Western Wyoming with the long one. Out of bounds, point to Colorado Northwestern. 21-15 the score now. And following that, we've got a timeout taken by Colorado Northwestern. The second timeout between both of these teams in this first set. Still very much in the hands of Western Wyoming as long as they play smooth throughout this first set, as they are just 4 points away from taking set number 1 in their home opener for 2022. 21-15 the score. Western Wyoming on top of Colorado Northwestern in set number 1 here in Rushmore Gymnasium. Western Wyoming, the first team out of the timeout. Colorado now coming out of it as you hear the horn blowing now to signify play is ready to resume. Colorado with the serve. Rock Springs knocks it across. Well, we got a net violation. Looked like a player for Western made contact with the top of the net. Point to Colorado. Western gets it across. Colorado responds. Back to Western. Western back line. Pass from front to back. Knocks it across. And Colorado is able to get it across. Rock Springs unable to put up a dig to save it. Point to Colorado Northwestern. It is now a 4-point match, 21-17 here in the first set. Western Wyoming still on top, but this is getting tighter. Western Wyoming, that gets down from middle of the floor to left corner in front of the Colorado bench. Point to Western Wyoming, 22-17 now. On the serve for Western Wyoming. Colorado with it. Soft touch, but we've got a net violation. Colorado Northwestern make it now 23-17, and we now have a timeout taken by Colorado Northwestern Community College. 1 minute to go here in this timeout. And taking a look on the video feed from Western Wyoming that I am calling the game off of. Looks like head coach Fred Ansoto is emphasizing specific topics with her team and getting animated a little bit, it looks like. Perhaps that's something that's needed for a team that obviously wants to go hard and come away with this home opening first set win, and if they can, sweep Colorado Northwestern. That's the goal for Western Wyoming Volleyball in their home opener here for 2022, as Western Wyoming right now is just 2 points away. Let's see what can happen here as Western serves this one. Gets across now, back in the hands of Western Wyoming. Colorado gets to the cross. Western soft touch. Knocks it back across with a good defensive play. Nothing doing there for the Colorado defense. That's a point. And now we've got potential set point for Western Wyoming here in set number 1, 24-17. Western with it. Colorado responding offensively. Western back with it. Soft touch, Colorado responds. And that one goes wide for Colorado, an out of bounds point. And that is set 1 to Western Wyoming, 25-17. Congratulations in set number 1 to Western Wyoming, taking it 25-17. Stay with us, folks. We're gonna take a break, and then we'll be back for set number 2 between Western Wyoming and Colorado Northwestern. This is Western Wyoming Volleyball with Andrew Gallinger. We want to thank our sponsor, PRCA rodeo announcer Wyatt Joyner, owner of Running J Rodeo and Running J Enterprises. Thank you for your support, Wyatt Joyner. And stay with us. Set number 2 between Western Wyoming and Colorado Northwestern is coming up next. Hello everybody, and welcome back into the home opener for 2022 for Western Wyoming Volleyball. We are getting ready for set number 2. Western Wyoming took the first set 25-17 over Colorado Northwestern Community College. Thanks again to our Sportscasting on Wheels sponsor, PRCA, rodeo announcer, and Running J Enterprises owner, Wyatt Joyner, for his sponsorship of this contest. We greatly appreciate it, Wyatt. You can find more information about Wyatt Joyner at Running J Enterprises on Facebook with his agriculture company, as well as his rodeo announcing company, as we prepare for set number 2 in the Western Wyoming Community College Mustangs Volleyball Home Opener. Set number 2 between Western Wyoming and Colorado Northwestern, set to get underway here in Rock Springs and Rushmore Gymnasium. Teams now have switched sides, so Mustangs now going left to right on your radio dial, Colorado Northwestern. Right to left, we are underway. Western Wyoming with the serve. Long ball the other way, Colorado Northwestern. Too long and out of bounds. Point to Western Wyoming. Western Wyoming with the serve. Colorado trying to dig. That gets erratic and out of bounds. A quick 2-0 lead for Western Wyoming here in set number 2. Diving can't keep it from going into the student section. A Colorado Northwestern Community College defender. And just like that, it's a 3-0 lead for Western Wyoming Mustangs here in set number 2. On the serve, Colorado tries for it. And they can't keep the ball off the floor, and it's quickly a 4-0 Western Wyoming lead here in set number 2. Western with it knocks one softly across. Western continuing to pull up a 5-0 lead for the Mustangs here in the second set. Mustangs continuing their domination as here's the Mustang serve. Colorado Northwestern finally able to get a point to drop from center court to left. 5-1 the score now in set number 2. Colorado Northwestern on the board. Colorado starting to be able to respond defensively. Western Wyoming responding. This time it's a long ball for Western Wyoming. Therefore a point to Colorado Northwestern. 5-2 here in the second set. The serve by Colorado. Hits the top of the net, still gets across. Western knocks it across. Colorado unable to handle it. Net violation. That's going to be a point for Western Wyoming. 6-2. Colorado facing a block by Western's front line. And Colorado, their hit goes long. Out of bounds point, Western Wyoming, 7-2. Western trying to respond, can't get it up and over the net. with their own point offensively. That's a point for Colorado Northwestern. 7-3 now. Colorado with the serve. Back line of Western Wyoming can't corral the ball. 7-4 now. A serve by Colorado gets it across to Western. Colorado knocks it back across. Western back across to Colorado. Now back to Western. And there's a net violation. Western Wyoming. Point Colorado. 7-5 now. This set a lot closer for Western Wyoming. And there's a net violation for Western Wyoming. 7-6 the score now. Western with just a 1-point lead over Colorado here in set number 2. Almost in that violation. And they say that is, but it's on Colorado Northwestern, so it's 8-6. Western Wyoming in front. Western with the serve. Diving Colorado defender can't keep it off the floor. Point to the Mustangs. 9-6. A 3-point lead for Western Wyoming here in set number 2. Colorado able to save it, get to the cross to Western. Western get to the cross, but it's blocked. Second attempt, get to the cross. Colorado pushes it across. Western with it now. Get to the cross to Colorado. And that's a penalty for Colorado. Double touch violation. Point to Western Wyoming. And there's one for Western that gets down just inside the out of bounds line. 11-6 now. Here in the second frame. Colorado gets to the cross. Western Wyoming responds. Colorado gets to the cross. Western responds. Likewise does Colorado on their side. That gets down out of bounds though. Point to Western Wyoming. Given the out of bounds play. 12-6. Western Wyoming, can they respond offensively? Colorado trying to answer with their own offensive point. Western, good defense. Colorado keeping the ball in play. Long ball for Colorado out of bounds. Point, Western Wyoming. (13-6) now. And that's a serve, goes off the back line. Defender for Colorado. Point, Western Wyoming. 14-6 now. And after that, we've got a Colorado Northwestern timeout. 14-6, the lead for Western Wyoming. We want to thank Wyatt Joyner, PRCA rodeo announcer and owner at Running J Enterprises, for sponsoring this broadcast on Sportscasting on Wheels with Andrew Gallinger. Thank you, Wyatt, for your support. 30 seconds to go in the timeout period. Both sides talking it over. Western Wyoming with the 8-point lead here in set number 2. Best of 5, so if Western Wyoming can come away with a 3-set sweep, they win this match. If the Mustangs can win set number 2, they set themselves up for a good opportunity to take the 3rd set. Here's the serve for Western Wyoming out of the timeout. Colorado soft touch. Catches the front line of Western Wyoming. Maybe a little flat-footed there. Point for Colorado. 14-7 out of the timeout. Here in set number 2. Western with the long ball. Too far on the kill and out of bounds. Point to Colorado Northwestern. Colorado with the serve. Western gets it right back. Colorado responds with it right back. And we've got a double tap violation. Western Wyoming. Point Colorado. 14-9 now. And there's a kill attempt. Gets down just inside the out of bounds line. Far side to near side, left to right for Western Wyoming. Point for the Mustangs. 15-9 the score now. Colorado with it, gets it just across. Western responds, gets it across. Colorado with it now. And Colorado just too far. Left side of the floor, near side and out of bounds. Point to Western Wyoming. The serve by the Mustangs, too far and out of bounds. Point credited to Colorado Northwestern. Colorado Northwestern. Serve too long. Out of bounds point. Western Wyoming. 17-10 the score now. Mustangs on top by 7, set number 2. Here's the serve, left side of the floor, far side of the court. That one goes long. Point Colorado Northwestern. 6-point lead now for Western Wyoming. 17-11. Here's the serve, Colorado. What can Rock Springs and Western Wyoming do with it? Colorado tries to get it across, but into the net. Therefore, point to Western Wyoming. 18-11 now. Here's the serve from the Mustangs. Gets it across to Colorado. On the whistle, waiting to see who the officials called the point on. Point to Western Wyoming. Colorado trying to keep it up. That falls. Now another point to Western. Make it 19-11 now. As we got a Colorado Northwestern timeout. Looking ever closer, like the Western Wyoming Mustang volleyball team is going to take a commanding 2-0 lead in their home opener for 2022. Their second match at home will be against Salt Lake Community College. I'll be on the call for that one, so stay tuned. You can catch all of my Sweetwater County athletics broadcasts between Rock Springs High School and Western Wyoming Community College on my YouTube channel, Andrew Gallinger, and you can also catch it on my social media channels. Find me on Facebook, Andrew Gallinger, and on Twitter, the handle @Andrew Gallinger. As there's the serve into the net. That's a net violation for Colorado. Point to Western Wyoming. It's now a 9-point lead here in the second set. 20-11 the lead for Western Wyoming over Colorado Northwestern. Western Wyoming now with it. Colorado back in possession. And there's a whistle that goes long. Point to Western Wyoming. It's a 10-point lead now. 21-11. Western Wyoming set 2 over Colorado Northwestern. Colorado gets it across. Rock Springs and Western Wyoming responding. Western Wyoming and Colorado continuing to get it back and forth. 10-point lead for the Mustangs. Set 2. Continuing to work it back and forth. No sign in either giving up this possession. Diving, trying to save it. Nothing there. Colorado. Point. Western Wyoming. 22-11 now. Here's the serve from the Mustangs. And that one's long. Point to Colorado Northwestern as that serve goes out of bounds. Still a 10-point lead for Western Wyoming. Western Wyoming just 3 points away from taking a 2-set lead. Now make it just 2 as the serve for Colorado Northwestern goes into the net. 23-12. Western Wyoming now just 2 points away from taking a 2-0 set lead. Diving, trying to save it. Colorado can't do anything there offensively. That's a point, Western Wyoming. And now we've got the potential set point for Western Wyoming coming up right here in set number 2. There's the serve for the Mustangs. Colorado gets it across. Here's Western. What can they do? Colorado can't corral it. Second set to Western Wyoming. 25-12. Congratulations to Western Wyoming. Can Western Wyoming sweep Colorado Northwestern in 3 sets? We'll find out, folks. Stay with it. the action-packed third set. This is for all the marbles. Western Wyoming, can they sweep it? Colorado Northwestern, they need this one to stay alive. Stay with us, folks. Andrew Gallinger will be back with you for the potentially match deciding or match continuating third set to come up next. This is Andrew Gallinger, and you are listening to Western Wyoming Volleyball, the home opener for 2022, sponsored by PRCA rodeo announcer Wyatt Joyner and Running J Enterprises. Stay with us, folks. It's been an exciting first two sets. What will set three bring? This is Western Wyoming Volleyball hosting Colorado Northwestern to open the 2022 season. Welcome back, everybody. Andrew Gallinger with you to set number 3 of the home opener for Western Wyoming Volleyball for 2022, hosting Colorado Northwestern. Western Wyoming took set 1, 25-17. Set number 2 also went the way of Western Wyoming by a score of 25-12. We want to thank PRCA rodeo announcer and Running J Enterprises owner Wyatt Joyner for his sponsorship. We'll see. This is going to be a critical set for both of these teams. If Western Wyoming wins this set, they take the whole match and improve on the season to 7-8. If Colorado Northwestern wins this set, we continue to a fourth set with more volleyball. We've switched sides now, so it'll be Colorado Northwestern, left to right, Western Wyoming, right to left on your radio dial. Domination so far in this match for Western Wyoming. Personally, I'm expecting more of the same. But honestly, you never know, as there's a serve from Colorado to get the third set underway. That's a long one and out of bounds. Point to Western Wyoming. So the first point, not starting off easy for Colorado Northwestern. And just like that, it's the same with point number 2 as the serve goes into the net. Quickly, it's a 2-0 lead. For Western Wyoming, and actually no, it's Western Wyoming gets that into the net, so it's 1-1, my apologies. And there's a net violation, Colorado Northwestern, so now it's 2-1. So quickly 3 points put up in this final set on fouls. 2-1 Western Wyoming with the lead. Western Wyoming gets the cross to Colorado. Colorado powers a kill across. That one looks close to the line. Far side of the floor. And that gets down for a kill for Colorado. So we are even 2-2. Colorado with the serve. Western responds. Colorado reacts. And Colorado knocks one into the net. That's a net violation. Point Western Wyoming, 3-2. The serve for Western Wyoming. Colorado knocks it across. The diving backline defender for Western Wyoming, unable to corral that one. We are even in this third set at 3-all. Colorado Northwestern definitely not wanting to go quietly. Colorado saving one from going out of bounds. And Colorado now with their first lead of tonight's match. 4-3 now, as they saved their long ball from going out near side in front of the scorer's table. Knocked back across the gym floor for a 4-3 lead. And just like that, it's 4-4. As Colorado unable to keep one from going out of bounds. Colorado now called for a net violation as they come up defensively. 5-4 now as Western Wyoming serves Colorado. Get to the cross. Colorado answers. Get to the cross, but that's a net violation. Point to Western Wyoming as a frontline defender for Colorado. Touched the net. 6-4 now. Western in front. The potentially third and winning set for Western Wyoming. Western Wyoming able to keep this one alive. Long ball as the kill is just a bit too far. Point. And no, the official says it's just drops inside the out of bounds marker. Point is to Western Wyoming. 7-4. Both sides working it across. Western Wyoming up by 3, 7-4. Continuing to work it across is both Colorado and Western Wyoming. And there's a whistle, net violation. Western Wyoming, point. Colorado, 7-5 now. Served by Colorado. And ball into the net for Western Wyoming, far side of the floor. 7-6 now. And now we've got a timeout. Timeout taken by Western Wyoming, their first of this period. This is the first time we've started to see struggle on any level from Western Wyoming volleyball in this match. Head coach Fred Ansoto and the team needing this time to talk it over, as we have 33 seconds left in this timeout period in this pivotal match, third set. Let's remind you what's at stake. If Western Wyoming wins this one, the match is over. Western Wyoming wins and improves to 7-8 on the year. If Colorado Northwestern wins this third set. The match continues to a fourth set. Both teams now coming out of the timeout. 7-6. Western Wyoming up by a slim margin. Colorado with the serve. We are back underway out of the timeout. Colorado long ball, that's out of bounds. Long ball, out of bounds. Point to Colorado Northwestern. We are back even, 7-all. Long ball for Colorado. Point to Western Wyoming. 8-7 now on the serve from Colorado. Point to Western Wyoming. This one back and forth as Western Wyoming serves. Colorado with it, get to the cross. What can Western Wyoming do with it? And Western Wyoming into the net. That means point. Colorado Northwestern. 8-all now. 8-8. Here in this match pivotal third set. Colorado with the serve as it gets across. Western Wyoming unable to corral it. It drops. Point to Colorado Northwestern. CNCC back in front. 9-8. Western trying to respond. Get to the cross. Colorado Northwestern unable to corral run. Chases it down. Out of bounds. Point to Western Wyoming. We are back even. 9-all. Colorado chasing it down the back line. Unable. That saves it. Western knocks it across as Colorado barely corrals it. Knocks it across, but Colorado with the powerful kill. Out of bounds. Western Wyoming. 10-9 now. Western Wyoming. Block. That block gets down on the Colorado Northwestern side. 11-9 now. Western Wyoming up by the all-important 2 points. 11-9 on the Western Wyoming serve. Colorado knocks it back across. Western Wyoming with it offensively. Both sides working it offensively. It drops Colorado unable to corral it in the front line offensively for Colorado Northwestern. It drops point. Western Wyoming 12-9. The serve for the Mustangs. Colorado with it. Blocked by Western Wyoming. It drops on Colorado's side. Point. Western Wyoming. 13-9 now. And we've got a timeout by Colorado Northwestern as Western Wyoming now holds a 4-point lead in this critical, potentially match-deciding third set. 13-9. Mustangs on top. Thanks again to our sponsor of this broadcast, Running J Rodeo, PRCA announcer, broadcaster, and owner of Running J Enterprises, Wyatt Joyner. We thank you, Wyatt, for your support of Sweetwater County broadcasting and the work of myself, Andrew Gallinger. Thank you very much for your support. If you want to learn more about Wyatt Joyner and all of his work, both in rodeo announcing and agricultural work, visit Running J Enterprises and Wyatt Joyner on Facebook. Both of those entities can be found on Facebook as we are back to action after the Colorado timeout, 13-9. And that one drops in the front line for Western Wyoming. Point Colorado, 13-10 now. Western with the block, trying to get it across. Block again by Colorado. That gets down on Colorado's side though. Point Western Wyoming. (14-10) now in this critical third set. Western Wyoming Mustangs up by 4. The serve. Colorado unable to corral it. Point to Western Wyoming. It's a 5-point lead now for the Mustangs over Colorado, 15-10. Colorado unable to corral a dig. It drops 16-10, the lead now for Colorado. As that dropped far side of the floor, left side of the offensive line for Colorado. That serve hit the net for Western Wyoming. Back to a 5-point lead for Western Wyoming, 16-11. The score now in this match critical third set. Reminder, if Western Wyoming wins this set, it is match win for Western Wyoming. If Colorado Northwestern wins, this match continues. That goes out of bounds off Western Wyoming. Point Colorado Northwestern. The serve by Western Wyoming. That one off the outstretched arms of a Colorado backline defender. Point Western Wyoming. Mustangs back in front by 5, 17-12. Reminder, playing to 25. Western Wyoming with the serve. Long ball blocked by Western Wyoming. Colorado trying to answer. Mustangs responding. And the Mustangs get one down from center to left in the front line of the Colorado defense. 18-12, the score now. Mustangs inching ever closer to a match win in their home opener. Colorado not trying to respond. Long ball off the outstretched hands of a Western defender. That's a point to Colorado Northwestern. Numbers back to 5, 18-13. Here in this crucial third set, Western Wyoming still in front. Western Wyoming with it. Now is Colorado Northwestern. As Western Wyoming can't get that across. It hits the net. 18-14 now. Colorado with the serve. Western gets it across. Kill attempt off the outstretched arms of a Colorado backline defender. An out-of-bounds point to the Western Wyoming Mustangs. Back to a 5-point lead for the Mustangs, 19-14. Western Wyoming with the serve. Colorado trying to answer. They do. That gets down in front of the Western Wyoming front line. 19-15 now. Colorado trying to stay alive, keep this match going. The kill attempt off the outstretched hands of left side backline defender for Colorado. Point to Western Wyoming. Western now just 5 points away from a match win, 20-15. Colorado gets it back across. Western, what can they do? Long ball on the kill attempt, but the officials say it just goes long. Point to Colorado Northwestern, 20-16. The serve by Colorado, brought in by Western Wyoming. Colorado responsive at the other end. Western Wyoming responsive. A battle by both sides offensively. Looking, Colorado gets it down. Diving Colorado defender can't keep it off the floor. Point Western Wyoming. 21-16 now. Mustangs just 4 points away from a match win in their home opener. That one gets across. Colorado gets it back to Western. Western gets to the cross, as does Colorado. Back to Western. Now in the hands of Colorado. Colorado kill attempt blocked by Western. And Western kill attempt that gets down. Center court. Now Western just 3 points away with a 6-point lead from a match win potentially. And net violation Colorado. Point Western Wyoming. Western Wyoming now just 2 points away. 23-19. And we now have a Colorado Northwestern timeout as Colorado Northwestern trails 23-16. Colorado Northwestern maybe looking a little bit desperate. Western Wyoming just wanting to stay nice and smooth as they are just 2 points away from a win in their home opening match for 20-22. The score in set number 3, 23-16. Western Wyoming took set number 1, 25-17, and set number 2, 25-12. Western Wyoming back on the floor. Colorado still talking it over. 10 seconds left in the timeout period. Colorado wanting to use every last second, and they do. There's the buzzer. Here comes the last couple players out onto the floor. Let's see what happens. Can Colorado crawl back into it? Or will Western pick up the last 2 points that they need to win the match? Western with it. Colorado responsive. Gets it across to Western. Western methodically responding. Colorado keeping it alive. And Colorado too long and out of bounds. Point to Western Wyoming. This is the potential match point right here for Western Wyoming. 24-16. Here's the serve from the Mustangs. Colorado can't corral it. Out of bounds. And that's the match point for the Mustangs. Set 3, 25-16. Mustangs win. And just like that, Western Wyoming wins the match 3-0, improving to 7-8 on the year. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Western Wyoming sweeps Colorado Northwestern in their home opener. Stay with us. Coming up later on, Game 2 of the non-conference season at home for Western Wyoming, taking on the Bruins of Salt Lake Community College. Western Wyoming victorious over Salt Lake Community College in a 3-set sweep. In this one in the home opener, 25-17 in set 1, 25-12 in set 2, and 25-16 in set 3. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This has been Andrew Gallinger on Western Wyoming Volleyball, the home opener. And once again, we want to thank Wyatt Joyner, the owner of Running J Rodeo and Running J Enterprise, and Wyatt Joyner, rodeo announcer, for sponsoring this broadcast. We thank you, Wyatt, for your support. Western Wyoming victorious in a 3-set sweep over Colorado Northwestern Community College. Be sure to join us next time, and if you've missed any Rock Springs or Western Wyoming broadcasts, be sure to take a look and a listen to any of them between Western Wyoming and Rock Springs High School on the Andrew Gallinger YouTube page, or you can follow along at Andrew Gallinger on Twitter or Andrew Gallinger on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Western Wyoming Volleyball victorious in their home opener 3-0 over Colorado Northwestern Community College.